Every battle in Jujutsu Kaisen is centered around a particular period, mission, or person. Each of these phases is known as an arc in the story. The very first arc we encounter is the Fearsome Womb arc. In this arc, we are introduced to the characters already in action in the following battles. The Exorcism of Cursed Spirits at Occult Research Club. This is the first battle we are thrust into in Jujutsu Kaisen. It occurs at the Occult Research Club at Sugisawa Municipal High, where Yuji Itadori is a student. It involves the joint efforts of Yuji and Megumi to fend off cursed spirits that were unleashed by mistake in that area. Megumi Fushiguro is a Jujutsu sorcerer who is on a mission to look for a special grade object belonging to Ryomen Sukuna, the greatest Jujutsu sorcerer. Yuji is an excellent student with impressive physical strength. They are failing at defeating the cursed spirits, so Yuji has to eat one of Sukuna's fingers to get more powers. After that, they exorcise the cursed spirits, and Yuji is summoned in front of the higher-ups, the exorcism at Roppongi, Tokyo. This is the second battle Yuji encounters in Jujutsu Kaisen. Now a student of Jujutsu High under the tutelage of Satoru Gojo, a powerful Jujutsu sorcerer, he is sent off to an abandoned building in Roppongi, Tokyo, to fight alongside Nobara Kugisaki against some cursed spirits that are terrorizing the place. The fight is a field test set up by Gojo to test both Nobara and Yuji. There are 3 students under Gojo's tutelage, and they include Megumi, Yuji, and Nobara. However, Nobara and Yuji, who don't get along well, are sent off to perform this task, leaving Megumi behind with Gojo. In the building, the two separate, after a fight, to different points, intending to meet at the center. The fight is going well until Nobara finds a little boy held hostage by a cursed spirit. She lays down her weapons so that the spirit releases the boy, but Yuji bursts through a wall and chops off the spirit's arms. Nobara finishes the spirit off, and that's how they complete their mission, the detention center case. In his absence, Gojo's 3 students Megumi, Nobara, and Yuji are sent to a mission in West Tokyo City by Kiyotaka Ijichi, an assistant manager at Jujutsu High. This is the third battle Yuji encounters in Jujutsu Kaisen. A cursed womb suspected to be carrying a special grade cursed spirit has suddenly appeared in West Tokyo City, in a detention center. The trio are sent there to look for survivors and contain the situation. They arrive too late because the cursed womb has produced a special grade cursed spirit who has killed all inhabitants of the prison. At the detention center, Nobara is separated from the group by the cursed spirits used of domain expansion. Megumi goes off to save Nobara, while Yuji frees Sukuna to fight the cursed spirit. The evil sorcerer tries to purge Yuji and possess his body by snatching his heart. Megumi tries to save him, but Yuji eventually dies. The fight for Yuji's soul. This battle happens between Sukuna and Satoru Gojo. For Yuji to return to life, his body will still be possessed by Sukuna. Gojo fights for control of Yuji's soul, but the fight is stressful. In the end, they come to a conclusion that Sukuna will repair Yuji's soul and create a binding vow with him. Yuji refuses this. They stake a death match for his soul, and Gojo loses. Yuji comes back to life right after. Gojo vs. Jogo. Satoru Gojo is suddenly embalmed by Jogo, a cursed spirit of special grade level, who intends to finish Gojo once and for all. He throws and shoots fire blasts at Gojo, who skillfully fends all of it effortlessly. Gojo employs the limitless technique to fend off all Jogo's attacks on him. Just before Jogo can employ his domain expansion technique called the Coffin of the Iron Mountain, Gojo summons Yuji, who he has been training secretly to master his emotions. Inside Jogo's domain, Gojo explains how domains work and how to defeat it. To defeat it, you have to master your own emotions and summon your domain, and that's what he does. Jogo is beheaded, but Nanami saves him before he dies. The pre-Kyoto Goodwill fight, Aoi, Todo, and Mai Zenin arrive in Tokyo before the event, but they do not have any intention for a good fight. They arrive to bully and size up their juniors Jujutsu High. They meet Megumi and Nobara. The two of them have been training under their second-year seniors, Maki, Toge, and Panda, ever since Yuji died. At the time, they are not aware that their friend has been resurrected and is receiving secret training from Satoru Gojo. The boys, Aoi and Megumi, start fighting in earnest when their tastes in girls don't align. Megumi is badly beaten by Aoi and would have gone all out, but Panda and Toge stop him. On the other hand, Mai and Nobara have started their own fight. Mai shoots Nobara with a cursed object. Maki stops her and Nobara is able to heal and quickly overpowers Mai. The seniors de-escalate the matter before it becomes worse. Mai and Aoi eventually leave, but leave words of warning for their juniors. Young Fish and Punishment Arc. This part of the story revolves around one of the story main protagonists, Mahito, a cursed spirit of special grade level. This arc is also known as the Versus Mahito arc. At the Kinema Cinema, Yuji has completed his training with Gojo and is now under the guidance of Kento Nanami, another sorcerer at Jujutsu High. They are sent to Kinema Cinema where reports of cursed energy activity has been witnessed. They investigate the scene and discover two strange, cursed spirits lurking on the roof. Yuji deploys Divergent Fist, a new technique he learnt, and Nanami uses Ratio technique. They dispatch the curses easily and quickly, and Nanami takes them back to Dr. Shoko at Jujutsu High. They discover that the strange spirits are actually disfigured humans. Nanami versus Mahito. After finding out that they brought back disfigured humans, Yuji and Nanami return to the crime scene to look for more clues. This time, they return with an additional sorcerer, Ijichi. At that time, Mahito had had a deep conversation with Junpei, the only survivor of the incident who was brave enough to confront him. Back at the scene, Nanami sends Yuji to find the only survivor and interrogate him. Yuji and Ijichi find Junpei and have a talk with him. Meanwhile, Nanami follows the scent of Mahito's cursed energy, a trap the latter consciously set. He exorcises the numerous ex-humans Mahito uses to guard his territory with ease and finally comes face to face with the enemy. They start fighting in earnest, each with their own cursed technique. However, Mahito quickly overpowers Nanami thanks to his fast healing abilities. He rebounds quickly, wearing Nanami out. Typical of most curses, Mahito starts to bloat, but Nanami soon rebounds and employs his Ratio technique, collapse to his advantage and crush Mahito. The blow doesn't kill Mahito, so Nanami escapes, hoping to fight another time. Junpei at Satozakura High. Junpei's mother Yagi has just died after encountering one of Sukuna's fingers on a table. The finger attracted curses that eventually killed her. Junpei hears of this and leaves Yuji's side. Mahito catches up with him and fuels his anger and sorrow. He encourages him to take revenge on another boy, Shota Ito, who bullied Junpei in the past. The two find their way to Satozakura High, where Shota is attending an award ceremony. Junpei barges in and attacks everyone in the hall, then lunging at Shota with cursed techniques he learned from Mahito. This scene is another plot by Mahito and his gang to attract Yuji and Sukuna. It works this time around because Yuji abandons Ijichi and hastens to Satozakura High. Once there, Yuji tries to get through to Junpei to talk him out of his emotional state. Junpei is adamant and continues to fight Yuji. Just as Yuji is about to reach Junpei, Mahito appears and begins his own assault on Yuji. Eventually, Junpei is killed by Mahito, and Yuji is furious as he cannot tap into Sukuna's power. The latter mocks him as Junpei dies. The fight continues, and Mahito tries to reach Sukuna's soul inside Yuji, but the Curse King warns him not to try it again. Mahito tries it again, and this irritates Sukuna. He brings down Mahito's domain expansion effortlessly and injures him seriously. Mahito does not relent and continues fighting. Nanami arrives on time and helps Yuji. All parties suffer deep injuries, but Mahito escapes before Yuji and Nanami can deal the final blow. His escape marks the end of this arc. He goes away to heal and promises to kill Yuji's spirit. The Kyoto Goodwill event arc. It is time for the 30th annual Kyoto Sister School Goodwill event, a fierce competition between the teams from Tokyo and Kyoto students who fight against each other in a series of intense jujutsu battles. Aoi and Mai return to Tokyo for the event. Yuji is reunited with his teammates, and unlike what Gojo expected, they are not exactly happy to see him. The event starts in earnest with each team having an agenda. The Kyoto team plans to assassinate Yuji. Yuji versus Aoi. According to the Tokyo team's plan, Yuji is to keep Aoi distracted, while the rest of the team go in search of the curses. The battle begins in earnest, but Yuji is soon overpowered by Aoi. He bounces back and his strength impresses Aoi, who then tries to know Yuji more. He asks what kind of girls Yuji likes, and Aoi is satisfied with his answer. They actually have similar taste in women, and this makes them bond. Suddenly, the Kyoto attacks Yuji, but Aoi turns against his own team and protects Yuji. After his team has retreated, the two resume their fight. From a brutal fight, it has turned to one of friendly battle, like one between master and student. Aoi is the teacher, while Yuji is the student. Panda versus Mechamaru. The second-year sorcerer, Panda is revealed to be a cursed corpse. He and Nobara are taking on Momo from the Kyoto camp in a tedious battle. Another Kyoto team member, Mechamaru, who is a third-year student, arrives to help Momo in the fight. Momo opts to fight Nobara one-on-one, leaving Panda to Mechamaru. They are both revealed to be cursed corpses. The fight begins in earnest, and Mechamaru applies more pressure. He employs all cursed techniques available to him in the fight, gaining some grounds against Panda. Even still, Panda puts a good fight, and this angers Mechamaru. He is about to switch to his ultimate cannon when Panda activates his core cursed energy. Guerrilla mode. In the end, Mechamaru is defeated. Maki versus Miwa. Elsewhere during the event, Maki is in fierce combat with Miwa from Kyoto camp. Shortly after the ambush on Yuji, the Tokyo team ambushed the Kyoto team, which consisted of Miwa, Mechamaru, Mai, Momo, and Noritoshi. Momo roamed the sky with a broom trying to spy for the Kyoto team, but she was ambushed by Megumi's Shikigami. The Kyoto team split into two after that. One part, Mai and Mechamaru, were sent to check on her while Miwa and Noritoshi continue on their way. They are soon ambushed by Megumi and Maki. Maki takes on Miwa by herself. Although Maki is a grade 4, she easily defeats Maui. Nobara versus Momo. Nearby, Nobara tackles Momo. Momo uses her flight abilities to her advantage and tries to wear Nobara out. She yaps about the women's condition in the Jujutsu community, but Nobara is not interested in that. She employs her straw doll technique, which allows her attack using either a hammer, a straw doll, or nails. She is able to make Momo crash this way. She is about to deal the final blow, but Mai shows up and lands a surprise attack to her temple. She would have landed another one, but Maki shows up. Mai versus Maki. Mai and Maki are twins from the same family. Mai expresses hatred for her twin sister who broke her promise to never leave. Both sisters were mistreated by the Zenin family, and as a result, Maki promised to always be there for her sister. However, she left to follow her own dreams of becoming a sorcerer. This angered Mai, who eventually left the house as well to become a sorcerer. Because she left against her own will, Mai deeply resents her sister. She tries to use her secret curse technique to overpower Maki, but her sister is quite stronger than she expected. Mai is easily defeated, and her hatred for her sister only grows. Megumi versus Noritoshi. Both of them are heirs to their family's lineage. One was not rejected by his family but left all the same, Megumi, while the other was not considered a fitting heir, Noritoshi. To gain that credibility, Noritoshi has connived with Principal Gakuganji to sneak in a semi-grade 1 cursed spirit to the event. That curse is nearby and is encountered by another student, Toge Inumaki. Their fight intensifies after this is revealed. Megumi disagrees with Noritoshi's mindset and is about to finish him off when giant spikes of roots appear from nowhere. Toge appears as well and orders them to run away. Mahito's gang's invasion. The curse sneaked in by Noritoshi, and Gakuganji is eliminated by Mahito before the group can do anything. His group scatter around the school with a plan to distract them and steal 3 cursed womb from a cursed barrier. The spikes that appeared all of a sudden were the work of Nanami, a cursed manipulated by Mahito. Juzo, another cursed spirit from Mahito's camp, casts a curtain over Tokyo campus. This way, the cursed spirits are able to drop in unnoticed by Satoru Gojo, who is overseeing the venue. Megumi, Toge, and Noritoshi are in serious combat with Nanami, and are not winning despite the fact they employ blood manipulation. Toge reaches his limit. Nanami is able to injure Noritoshi. He is about to strike all of them when Toge summons his last well of strength to blast him away. The attack pushes him back, but it doesn't hurt him. Maki joins them then and fights alongside Megumi. Nanami proves to be too strong and successfully injures Megumi. Maki sees that they cannot win and encourages Megumi to leave with her just as Yuji, Panda, and Aoi arrive at the scene. Panda helps take Megumi and Maki to safety, while Yuji and Aoi stay behind to fight the cursed spirit on their own. Still in a tutor's spirit, Aoi urges Yuji to start the fight with Nanami using the Black Flash technique. Yuji struggles at first, but Aoi's help, he is able to activate it. When he lands a blow on Nanami, Aoi joins the fight. Nanami knows they are formidable opponents and decides to enjoy the fight, that way conjuring more strength from that emotion. He gains the upper hand in the fight, but Aoi releases his cursed technique, which is the Boogie Woogie. With this technique, he helps Yuji land 4 blows on Nanami, but that doesn't quite do the job. He releases another technique called the Playful Cloud and lands another blow, but Nanami doesn't fall. Just then, Juzo's cloud curtain falls and Gojo is spotted above. The first thing Gojo does is exorcise Juzo and then unleash his hollow technique, purple on Hanami, who tries to flee after sighting Gojo. The technique emblazes a large part of the forest so that the curse is obliterated with it, but Mahito and the remaining gang, including Hanami, manage to escape. Later, a basketball game is decided to choose a winner between both schools instead of ending the Goodwill event. Tokyo High wins the game effortlessly. The Origin of Obedience arc. The battles under this arc have to do with the findings and adventures of Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara as they pursue cure-related deaths. Beneath the Yasuhachi Bridge, the trio are sent to investigate deaths of individuals who met cursed spirits lurking behind an open door. They reach Saitama Urami East Junior High, where most of the victims are traced to, and learn about the Yasuhachi Bridge and how many of them were found unconscious there. The trio head there and find the curse lurking under the bridge. Before they can begin exorcism, Kachizu, a death painting incarnate by Mahito, bursts into the scene. Yuji takes on Kachizu, while Megumi faces the curse, and Nobara faces Eso, Kachizu's elder brother, who also shows up to the scene. Megumi finishes off the cursed spirit quickly and notices a finger-bearer lurking around. He starts to fight it and realizes it's stronger than any finger-bearer he has ever faced. He lets go of all his constraints and utilizes his utmost energy to defeat the finger-bearer. Meanwhile, Nobara is pulled into dialogue by Eso. They end up fighting when Yuji and Kachizu end up behind him by mistake. Eso is very insecure about his back and would kill anyone who looks at his back. The four of them start fighting. Eso and Kachizu employ rot technique and infect Nobara and Yuji. They turn the tides around and end up killing both brothers. Premature death arc. The battles in this arc happened years back. They happened in the beginning of Satoru Gojo's career as a sorcerer, when he was a second-year student in Jujutsu High with Suguru Gato. The Plasma Star Vessel. 2 strong sorcerers are needed to escort a new vessel for Master Tengen, the head of Jujutsu. Satoru Gojo and Suguru Gato are the only 2 sorcerers with the strength and capability to carry out the task. They effortlessly fend off every attempt by 2 enemy camps, Q and Time Vessel Association, to abduct the chosen vessel, Rika Amanai. They have just returned to Jujutsu High to deliver the vessel when Toji Zenin, a hired assassin, slips through their barrier and pierces Gojo with a cursed tool called Inverted Spear of Heaven. Geto was given the duty of escorting Rika when Toji attacked, but he gives her a chance to escape. Before she can go far, Toji shoots her in the head. In the end, Geto is also defeated by Toji, and Rika's corpse is returned to the Time Vessel Association. Gojo recovers quickly and appears before Toji for a rematch. This time, he wins using the Hollow Technique, Purple. The Shibuya Incident Arc. The fights in this arc are a result of the alliance of Mahito's camp and Pseudo Gito, also known as Kenjaku, to seal up Gojo once and for all. Kokichi versus Mahito. The people at Jujutsu High discover that there's a mole in their midst. On the other hand, Kokichi meets up with Mahito and Kenjaku and makes a deal for his body to be transformed into a healthier one. Mahito agrees and their fight starts. The two engage in tense conflict, but Mahito ends up winning. After his death, the team are ready for the Shibuya attack. At the Meiji Jingumai station, the cries of civilians trapped inside a curtain around Shibuya brings Gojo out face-to-face with 3 curses from Mahito's camp: Choso, Hanami, and Jogo at Fukutoshin Line Platform B5F. They put Gojo in a tight situation by slaughtering as many non-sorcerers on the railway. The culprit of the slaughter is Hanami, and this angers Gojo. He takes off his blindfold and goes all out against Hanami. He kills him easily, and then is left with Jogo and Choso. Yuji enters the scene from another place and comes in contact with a curse, the Grasshopper Curse. The curse is guiding a curtain from that entry that is blocking other sorcerers from entering and helping Gojo. The curse feeds on humans' fear of grasshoppers. In the end, Yuji defeats it and the curtain is destroyed. Just then, a train arrives, and it is filled to the brim. When it opens, Meimei, a sorcerer, realizes it's filled with transfigured humans. The things get off the train and start slaughtering the humans. Gojo can see the scene, and he understands what's going on. Using the Unlimited Void technique, he incapacitates all transfigured humans easily, but he gets trapped with the prison realm by Kenjaku and Mahito. Shibuya Sea Tower. Yuji, Ino Takuma, and Megumi attempt to break past another of the curtains, but it is impenetrable. They trace the protectors to the highest building in Shibuya. 3 cursed spirits, Ogami, her grandson, and Awakasa are guarding the curtain. Yuji and Megumi take on Awasaka, while Takuma fights Ogami's grandson. In order to defeat Takuma, Ogami transforms her son's body to become Toji, but Toji's soul also takes over, and he kills Ogami. During the fight, however, Takuma suffered some injuries. Megumi and Yuji have managed to defeat Awasaka. Megumi takes him to safety, while Yuji hurries to Gojo's side. Meimei and Ui, her sister, encounter smallpox deity but kill it after figuring out its technique and manipulating it to their own advantage. Then they encounter Pseudo-Geto. On the other hand, Yuji comes face to face with Choso. They begin to fight, and Choso is even more enraged that his brothers died at Yuji's hands. Although Yuji has help from Kokichi, Choso ends up knocking him out. Choso fails to kill Yuji because a strange memory comes to his mind. Maki, Nanami, and Nyobito come face to face with Dagon upon entering the station. They attack it mercilessly but get trapped in its domain. Megumi bursts in to help, but he too gets stuck. It is Toji who shows up and defeats Dagon. Then, Toji takes Megumi away. Immediately he is gone. Jogo shows up and defeats all the other sorcerers. Nanami is killed. Jogo is killed by Sukuna. Toji kills himself. And Mahito is defeated by Yuji, thanks to Aoi's help, and absorbed by Kenjaku. Kenjaku escapes and Gojo is not freed from the trap. The Itadori extermination arc. Following the events at the Shibuya station, Yuji is marked for execution by the Jujutsu authorities. The executioner is Yuta Okotsu, who has just returned from overseas. The sorcerers have also been prohibited from releasing Gojo. Choso has reunited with Yuji and proclaimed himself a friend. The two fight together when Yuta shows up, but Yuta easily stabs Yuji and knocks out Choso. The preparation arc. The battles in this arc happen upon the return of Yuji to Jujutsu High. Yuji and Yuta have teamed up to release Gojo. Yuta could not kill Yuji because of his loyalty to Gojo. They sneak into Jujutsu and meet up with other friends who become part of the team. Choso is also on the team. Tengen helps them with information on how to free Gojo and how to prepare for the culling game, Kenjaku's next plan for ending humanity. They set out to do all they have to. Maki faces her family and kills her father to avenge her sister's death. She also annihilates all the Zenin clan as she promised. Yuji and Megumi meet up with Hikari, another student they are to recruit. Choso and Yuki stay back to guard Tengen. Megumi sneaks Yuji into an illegal fight club that Hikari runs, and his impressive skills earn him a meeting with Hikari in the monitoring room. While Yuji is there, Megumi and Panda are caught sneaking around by Kurara, Hikari's assistant. Hikari gets her warning, and a fight ensues between him and Yugi. Yugi lets him win, and in the end, Hikari listens to them and agrees to help. The culling game arc. Yuji and his friends enter the culling game with 3 ambitions: rescuing Tsumiki Fushiguro from participating, freeing Satoru Gojo from prison realm, and protecting Tengen from Kenjaku, who plans to abduct him. Upon entrance into the game through Colony Number 1, Yuji and Megumi are immediately separated by the wall. They each meet pesky sorcerers. Rin leads Yuji to Higurama truthfully, but Remy leads Megumi to a trap. With Higurama, Yuji has a hard time convincing him to add to the rules of the culling game. Higurama traps Yuji in his domain expansion, which is a courtroom. He finds about the real truth of the Shibuya incident and decides to help Yuji. He adds his preferred rule to the game, which allows players transfer points between themselves. Meanwhile, Megumi fights and defeats Reggie, who proves to be a very worthy opponent. In the end, Reggie transfers all his points to Megumi. Sendai Colony. Yuta's mission is to fight all the strongest players in the Sendai Colony. He fights with Kurorushi, the cockroach cursed spirit. He uses the reverse curse technique to defeat Kurorushi. Ryu and Uro, who watch the fight, start attacking him. Yuta employs Rika's help to win, but it proves very though. Yuta manages to get the upper hand and collects their points for the game. The culling game has progressed a lot when Yuji learns of the truth. Kenjaku is working with government officials to capture Jujutsu sorcerers. However, what Kenjaku really plans to do is release cursed energy on the soldiers at night, killing them and making the colonies have enough cursed energy to merge him with Tengen. He kills more of Megumi's friends and his sister so he can stain his soul. Gojo is finally freed, and he vows to kill Kenjaku and Sukuna. Sukuna versus Gojo. The battle between the King of Curses and the greatest sorcerer was hectic. First, Gojo launched the attack, both entities putting up their domain expansion. Then arrives the Malevolent Shrine Open Barrier, and then the Maharaga, which surprises Gojo. Gojo's ultimate void technique and reverse technique helps him heal quickly, but the barrage of onslaught from Sukuna overpowers him. Gojo is slit in two in the end. Itadori versus Sukuna. Elsewhere, Yuta has killed Kenjaku thanks to Takaba's distraction. Yuji comes on board to avenge Gojo and take out Sukuna once and for all. Sukuna has taken his full shape now, and it makes it easier for the sorcerers. Sukuna is still weak from the fight with Gojo, so he cannot put up a strong fight against Yuji. He kills other sorcerers that try to take him down, but Yuji launches a barrage of black flashes. They are so fast that Sukuna can barely stand. He is forced out of Megumi's body and lands as a blob of slime. Yuji finishes him off, and the King of Curses comes to the end of his reign. And with that, we've covered every battle in JJK. Let us know what you'd like to see next. Consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.